Welcome to a journey through time. Today, I'm excited to share with you some of the rarest and most remarkable historical photos you've ever seen. From forgotten moments to iconic events, these images will transport you to a bygone era. So sit back, relax, and watch till the very end. Trust me, it'll be worth it. Russian soldiers prepare chlorine cylinders for a gas attack against German positions, 1916. These soldiers are part of the Russian Fifth Army of World War I. They are preparing a chemical attack against the German positions in Iluxti area, modern Latvia. Messerschmitt Me-264 America bomber, its objective, being able to strike continental USA, 1942. Testing a bulletproof vest, 1923. The gun players are W. H. Murphy and his assistant, of the Protective Garment Corporation of New York. By 1923, the Protective Garment Corporation of New York manufactured a lightweight vest for police use, and they held a live demonstration in D.C. A Russian adjustable mobile shield captured by the Germans, 1914. The immobility of the trench warfare characterizing the First World War led to a need for a device that would protect soldiers from enemy fire and could help them move on the extremely irregular terrain of battlefields. Apart from a few exceptional cases, these mobile personnel shields proved too cumbersome and heavy for the strength of an individual under fire and would only work on short distances and on favorable ground. U-118, a World War I submarine washed ashore on the beach at Hastings, 1919. When the people of the town of Hastings awoke one morning to see one of the Kaiser's U-boats on their beach, it caused some shock. Thousands of visitors flocked to see the beached submarine. The Admiralty allowed the town clerk to charge a fee for people to climb on the deck. American tank crew listened to Bernard Herzog, who was just liberated from the camp of Santo Tomas, 1944. An American tank crew stands beside Bernard Herzog, an American citizen who lived in the Philippines, after his liberation from the Santo Tomas internment camp run by the Japanese in the old University of Santo Tomas campus, Manila. As you can see, he is severely malnourished as Herzog most likely exclusively ate refined white rice, as was the case with many other camps. His lower legs are swollen due to beriberi, an illness which is caused by the lacking of vitamin B1 thiamine in the diet, and his legs are most likely swollen from the illness. Eyes of Hate, a candid photograph of Goebbels after he finds out his photographer was Jewish, 1933. Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels was cheerful and without a care when he first met photographer Alfred Eisenstein. In a close-up image, the Third Reich politician was caught off guard smiling at the League of Nations meeting in Geneva in September 1933. But when Goebbels found out Life magazine photographer Eisenstein was Jewish, his expression was quite different. Young Winston Churchill in rare photographs, 1890s. A U.S. soldier offers his hand to a woman leaving a cave where she had hidden with her child, 1944. The photograph is taken during a battle of Saipan that claimed the lives of 22,000 Japanese civilians, many by suicide, and nearly all 30,000 Japanese troops on the island. Of the 71,000 American troops who landed on Saipan, 3,426 perished, while more than 13,000 were wounded. Nazis singing to encourage a boycott of Jewish shops. 1933 Nazis singing to encourage a boycott of the allegedly Jewish-founded Woolworths. Before Nazi troops sing in front of the Berlin branch of the Woolworth Co. store during the movement to boycott Jewish presence in Germany, March 1, 1933. Within days of taking power, the Nazis called for Germany to boycott all Jewish businesses. This surprised many people as they had not expected the Nazis to act on their anti-Jewish ideas. This is the start of years of anti-Jewish propaganda. Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels arranged for a boycott of Jewish-owned businesses. 9 Kings in one photo, 1910. In May 1910, European royalty gathered in London for the funeral of King Edward VII. Among the mourners were 9 reigning kings, who were photographed together in what very well may be the only photograph of 9 reigning kings ever taken. Of the 9 sovereigns pictured, 4 would be deposed and 1 assassinated. German troops trying to rescue a French soldier from sinking in a mud hole, 1916. The picture was taken during the Battle of Verdun, one of the deadliest battles of the Great War. The concentration of so much fighting in such a small area devastated the land, resulting in miserable conditions for troops on both sides. The shells turned up the earth and left gigantic craters that would then fill with water in the unbelievably heavy rains. Parade of 57,000 German prisoners of war in the streets of Moscow. Under escort, 1944. In the summer of 1944, the Soviet Union launched Operation Bagration, a large-scale, complex offensive against the Nazi invaders in Belarus, Poland, and the Baltic republics. This vital Soviet offensive was launched just after Allied troops had landed in Normandy. General Patton's dog after his death. Willie standing by Patton's belongings, 1945. This picture of Willie, Patton's dog, was taken a few days after the general's death, as preparations were made to send home his effects. Cartoonist Bill Malden describes the moment. Beside him, lying in a big chair, was Willie, the bull terrier. If ever dog was suited to master, this one was. Willie had his beloved boss's expression and lacked only the ribbons and stars. I stood in that door staring into the 4 meanest eyes I'd ever seen. A German soldier with a badge on his chest, Stalingrad, 1942. Looks like this man has seen some horror, a little bit like 1,000-yard stare. Note silver badge on his chest. That badge represents Infantry Assault Badge, which was awarded in silver and bronze. At 1:10 a.m. on May 9, 1945, night owls in the USSR heard a radio report that Nazi Germany had officially surrendered to the Soviet Union. Up to 30 million soldiers and civilians were dead. The Soviet Union had lost a third of its national wealth. Cities such as Stalingrad had been reduced to lunar landscapes, and an entire generation of men had been decimated. Searchlights illuminated a city that a few years earlier had almost fallen to the Germans. Cannon fire and fireworks exploded over the Kremlin, and relieved citizens crowded into Red Square to share their enormous collective relief. Liberation of Paris, 1944. On August 25th, French General Philippe Leclerc entered the free French capital triumphantly. Pockets of German intransigence remained, but Paris was free from German control. 2 days earlier, a French armored division had begun advancing on the capital. The night they ended Prohibition, 1933. Originally intended to prevent crime and drunkenness, it soon became clear that Prohibition did just the opposite. As illegal speakeasies became prevalent, and bootlegging essentially led to the establishment of organized crime in the United States. Ironically, America's thirst for alcohol increased during Prohibition, and organized crime rose up to replace formerly legal methods of production and distribution. A dog being posed by a German soldier, 1940. In the beginning, the war was still fun and the soldiers were not fully engaged in action. So they had some fun with this German shepherd dog who has no idea what he's doing. Still looks classy though. Dressing dogs as humans have always been funny. The last picture of Adolf Hitler, 1945. This last known picture of Hitler was taken approximately 2 days prior to his death as he stands outside his Berlin bunker entrance surveying the devastating bomb damage. With Germany lying in ruins after 6 years of war and with defeat imminent, Hitler decided to take his own life. But before doing so, he married Eva Braun and then penned his last will and testament. The next day in the afternoon on April 30th, 1945, Braun and Hitler entered his living room to end their lives. When Hitler asked his physician to recommend a reliable method of suicide, his doctor suggested combining a dose of cyanide with a gunshot to the head. Later that afternoon, the remaining members of the bunker community found Hitler slumped over and blood spilled over the arm of the couch. Eva was sitting at the other end. Thank you for joining me on this journey through time. I hope you enjoyed these rare and fascinating historical photos as much as I did. If you want to see more hidden gems from the past, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Antiquity Scope. Your support means the world to me, and it will help me continue to uncover and share the secrets of history with you. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.